Hello and welcome back to the Spoiler Cast, and welcome back to our mandatory horror review for October, because it's October. So we're just gonna do horror movies.
Yeah, you made it sound like we're only doing one horror movie. Nah.
No. Yeah,
all of October, possibly even
all of October.
Some of November. You never know.
Oh yes. We're doing some Christmas-related horror movies as well this year.
Oh?
Yeah, we're gonna do.
You haven't told me, but sure.
No, but a movie called Black Friday we're gonna do, but it's more like a November kind of movie.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
not what we're talking about today.
No.
Yeah.
Today we're talking about a doozer of a movie.
Yeah, I found not only one of the most horrifying movies of the year, I would say one of the best movies of the year. Spoilers.
Yeah.
In this episode, we're talking about The Innocents.
Or, as it's in the original title, and I'm not going to try and say that in Norwegian.
Exactly. The Swedish title is De Oskyldiga, and in Norwegian it's
De Oskyldiga?
De Oskyldiga?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a Norwegian
film. No, it's
film.
The Innocents. It's a Norwegian horror drama, I would say.
Yes.
I mean, if this was... this could honestly... I don't know if that's, like, a lame way to describe it, but this feels like an A24 movie.
Yes. I also have another movie that I very much want to compare it to.
Yeah?
Chronicle.
Yes!
Yeah.
I got a lot of Chronicle vibes as well.
Only somehow more terrifying.
Yes, and I'll tell you why, or at least why I thought it was more terrifying. Well, first of all, Chronicle was an action drama. This is a horror drama.
but it has, the same vibe to it, sort of.
Oh yeah, definitely. Maybe we should, since this is not like a super popular movie, even though the reason I even knew about it was because, like, I saw directors talk about it on Twitter, specifically, what's his name? The Swedish guy who made Shazam and Lights Out and Annabelle Creation.
Right, that dude. I don't remember his name.
Oh, I forgot his name. He has the best YouTube handle anyway, or Twitter handle. It's @PonySmasher.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's a movie. It's a Norwegian movie from 2022 that it's about a bunch of children. Two sisters who newly moved into this new apartment complex. One of them suffers from pretty severe autism, she's non-verbal autism.
Yeah.
Which first of all, people always talk about representation. Like people with CP or autism and Asperger's, but it's always the safe versions of that disability, so to speak. They never really show the ones who are non-verbal or like. What's it called? Utåtagerande, violent.
Yeah,
and stuff
violent.
like that. Yeah, it's always the ones where like, oh, they're just like us. But like, no, sometimes it's very, very debilitating disability.
Not just for the person who has it, but also their families.
No, but for everyone around them. Yeah, which I really appreciated them showing that side of it.
Yeah,
since because my best friend, his brother, which is also sort of my best friend, he suffers from the same kind of very severe autism.
Yeah. I mean, we've been around it for a lot of our upbringing.
Yeah, like for over 20 years I've known him, ever since he was a little kid. Now he's just turned 30, yeah. So that always rubbed me the wrong way when people say like, oh, it's so great to see representation for
autism specifically.
It's not mentally disabled, it's mentally or other whatever, what I mean.
Yeah, but
mentally disabled people.
Autism specifically, because that's what's close to us, so to speak.
Exactly. So I'm very happy they represented that part of the disability.
Yeah.
Anyway,
in a good way, also actually.
In a good way, yes, in a good way. Not like, oh, it's so terrible, And then her little sister was like 8 or 9, I think.
Yeah,
she's kind of the main character of the movie.
Yes.
Ida. And first of all, her strained relationship to her older sister. Obviously, she has been, never been, the center of attention in her family because her sister needs so much care. But they move to this new place, and she meets a new friend called Ben, right?
Yeah, Benjamin. Ben. Yeah.
Benjamin, yeah. And he shows her out in the woods where they live. He shows her that he has like superpowers. He can move things with his mind. And then there's this other girl who starts reacting when all these people, Ida, her sister, Benjamin, and this other girl,
Aisha.
they're kind of drawn to each other. Aisha, and they're kind of drawn to each other, almost as if they have this supernatural bond to each other. And at first, it just starts out as fun and games, but then it escalates from there into the more terrifying.
Well, to be honest, I think about 20 minutes in, I was so ready to turn this movie off.
That quick?
Well, it has to do with one specific incident, though.
Okay, well, we'll talk more about that in the spoiler section.
Yes.
I still want to talk a little bit more about it. Because, like I said, before we started this moved right up in my, top 5 of this year, I think.
See, I just finished it 30 minutes before we started recording this.
I saw it a few days ago, a week ago.
I'm still processing it, but the only movie I can compare it to at the moment, the emotional state I'm in, is back when I was a teenager, and I watched is it called The Strangers? With the one with Liv Tyler and the Cabin in the Woods kind of thing.
The crazies who invade their house. Yeah.
I've watched that movie twice. Yeah. I'll never watch it again, probably, because the second time, I despite watching it a second time, my friend started joking oh, we should watch it again. I freaked out so much I broke the DVD in half, and this is basically the same emotion. I never want to watch this again.
Yes, it's not like
it's disturbing.
It's disturbing, yes, because a lot of horror movies are they're scary, but ultimately it's just it's entertaining.
Yeah,
like when you watch any James Wan movie, like The Conjuring or the Insidious movies, they're scary, they're jump scares, and there are even some genuine scares in them, but they're never they're not affecting.
Yeah, they're not unsettling or they're not gonna linger in your head and make you see monsters in the shadows, really.
Yeah, and
even if they do, it's for a few hours and then you fall asleep, and it's fine.
And I would say even movies if you want to go one step above that in quality and talk about movies like The Witch.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say Hereditary because that's kind of on the same level, but movies like The Witch or It Comes at Night, it's they are a little more, they affect you a little bit, but it's still just oh, this was a really cool movie. I really liked it. It was really scary.
Once you've turned it off, it's just a movie.
Yeah. This one, it's like you said, it's unsettling. It's tough to get through, but in a good way.
I'm gonna admit that it might be more so for us because of the spoken language and stuff. It feels more at home.
Sure. Yeah.
Because even Norway is close enough to Sweden that we have similar
it's the neighboring country.
No, but it looks similar in nature and stuff like that. So this could have been the backyard in Sweden somewhere. It doesn't really make a difference.
That's kind of funny. It was the first thing I noticed. They're moving from what I understand, they're moving from a house to an apartment.
Yes.
They don't specifically say that, but I get that feeling.
Yeah.
And you're they're out in the they're in the not the hood, but
like a
förorten.
Yeah, it's a suburb, but in a Swedish way.
Yeah,
we don't have suburbs the way Americans do. We have it more.
No, we have that as well.
Sure, but it's
our parents live in a suburb like that.
But we also have this kind of concrete suburb as well.
Yeah, exactly. But it's so funny because it's still surrounded by beautiful forests. They even have a little lake right next to their house. It's yes. the Nordic fauna is very beautiful.
Yes.
Which also though that kind of helps to make it more frightening that they live in kind of a nice area.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, you have these. That's never part of the story. But the fact that they're just surrounded by this ancient forest, this Nordic forest that we have up here in the north, it just adds to the atmosphere, I would say.
Yeah, along with the fact that when they move in, it's in the middle of summer, and as per usual, a lot in the Nordic countries, we leave for the summer. We go to warmer places usually, because even though Nordic summers are beautiful, We still want to go to like Spain and have real heat. So when they get there, they have Ida specifically. She has this feeling of like, well, it's empty. There's no one here.
Yeah, she's left behind. Not only did she have to leave her friends, there's not that many new kids here to make friends with because most of them are away.
So they've
all gone to ferie,
yeah, in Norwegian. So this like being surrounded by the forest makes it feel very isolated somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
It just adds.
But then she finds this, but and how they juxtapose it, because then she finds this companionship with Ben and Aisha, and even starts warming up to her sister, which is probably my favorite part of the movie.
Oh yes.
Well, no, my favorite part of the movie is how well written the characters are. I've never seen children depicted so realistically in a movie. I mean, maybe, but not when all four main characters are children. Like every scene, there's almost no scenes with the parents.
No,
they're
that's
just
true.
They're just in the background. They don't even have names in the credits.
No, that's
they're
true.
They're just Ida's mom.
Yeah, because they're all just mom or dad.
Yeah. But the children, they talk like children, they think like children, they react like children. It is just genius writing.
I want to compare that to a movie that we will be talking about briefly in the Patreon episode. Oh no, I'm gonna say it wrong. Is it the Florida Project?
Florida Project, yeah.
With the bunch of kids that are just having a summertime. Because that movie feels like they didn't write a script for the kids. They just let kids be kids.
Oh, really? Well, we'll talk more about that. But I disagree. But okay.
This has the same feeling, only I know they had to write a script because kids won't, they can't just make up the shit that happens in this. I mean, sure, they could, but not while it physically looks like it's happening as well.
No, exactly.
So we know it's a script, but it's like it's not. It's like we're capturing child imagination,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Because of what the weird stuff that happens is just stuff that kids would normally imagine, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
With a bit of a dark twist.
Yes, yeah, but I mean, like because children are petty.
Yes.
They are very easy to get angry, and to give a child that kind of power, then what they have is basically telekinetic powers. They don't specifically say, but they have they can affect physically affect matter like the Force. And they also have like some sort of psychic connection.
Some of them,
not all. Yeah, that's the other thing I really found interesting about this, because the big connection they have is between Aisha and what's the sister's name? Anna?
Yeah.
Anna, right. That's the autistic sister.
Yeah.
Anna, yeah.
I'm going to say him with an English accent because it's weird to say it in Swedish.
Exactly.
The
Anna.
names.
So Anna, Aisha, and Ben can actually like communicate telepathically with each other.
Yeah, I think Aisha is the one who has like the easiest way, just communicating. Ben can sort of tap into it.
Yeah.
And then Ida is just kind of left out, to be honest.
Yes, which I found very interesting. We'll talk more about because there's stuff that happens in the end, but we'll get to that. That our main character is the only one that doesn't have powers.
Yeah,
more or less, and it was I thought that was also interesting to kind of not make her like the hero of the story
or the villain, as in Chronicle.
Yeah, exactly. Like she's just there. She's mainly observing.
Yeah, she's sort of like the connecting point, I suppose.
Exactly. Yes. And it's also easier then for the audience to connect to her because we don't have superpowers.
Yeah, so we're seeing it through her perspective more or less. Which it helps.
Definitely. And then also, I don't know if you found it. I didn't look too much, but do you know if the actress who plays Anna, she's not autistic in real life, right?
Not that I could see.
Yeah, because slight spoilers. The more she like connects with Aisha, the more she actually starts becoming verbal. She makes eye contact. She actually is able to communicate with people around her.
Yeah, I mean, she actually
plot point
becomes properly verbal for a while. Well, not properly, but, working her way back to it. Because they explained briefly that she was, up until the age of, 4 or something, she was perfectly normal, so to speak.
Yeah, so to speak. Which is usually when autism manifests.
Yeah.
Around that age. At least that kind of severe autism. And, I mean, at first I was just 100% sure that they got an autistic child to act. But it's just like, that must have been, no offense, that must have been hell to work with.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to find, I don't think she is.
No, because then later, maybe she's kind of autistic, or she's on the spectrum. But also I don't think so, because I think that would make it hard for her to then act more autistic, like she's further on the spectrum.
Yeah, that would be difficult, probably.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering, because she fucking nails it.
Oh, yeah.
In the early scenes, and then towards the end when she kind of reverts. It is fucking spot on, like the not making eye contact. Not just making noises instead of sound words. Just the fact, how she focuses in on certain details instead of
everything around her.
Yeah, it is so well acted. And to see a child do that, because she's I think she's in that same age range. She's 12, 13 something, I think.
Yeah, it's hard to find the information on her, to be honest. I found
I know.
A short page on her with her agency.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot about her. She only has this role so far. Yeah. And she has an enormous passion for acting, but she also has a blue belt in kickboxing. Attends dancing classes and is familiar with horse riding. She also likes to skate and snowboard.
Oh.
There's no age or nothing, really.
No, I don't think they want to, since she's a child, I don't want to give out too much information on the internet like that. But yeah, she's just so fucking good as Anna. I mean, have you seen What's Eating Gilbert Grape, the Johnny Depp movie?
Oh, yeah, ages ago, though.
Where Leonardo DiCaprio plays
yes.
A mentally disabled kid, and he's also for that kind of. I think he's also autistic to some.
Yeah, he's some autistic. Sort of. Yeah, some sort of.
But he's verbal and everything. But he's so fucking good. But I'd say this is the best performance since What's Eating Gilbert Grape that I've seen anyone play on the autistic spectrum. It is just insane.
Whenever we talk about people being able to portray a disability like this,
disability. Yeah.
I keep thinking back to Tropic Thunder. No, what's it called? Yeah, Tropic Thunder, where they discuss the whole going full retard thing.
Never go full retard. Yeah.
Well, there are people who can actually do it and pull it off. Yeah, this is one of them.
Exactly, because that's what she does.
Yeah. But she does it in a good way, in a respectful...
She goes all the way to the end of the spectrum.
Yeah. And, Leonardo DiCaprio managed to do that as well.
There's no...
Yeah, there's not poking fun at it. There's no,
They're not poking fun at it at all. Which they can do sometimes, and it doesn't work. There's a movie called I Am Sam, where... Sean Penn plays he's just mentally disabled. He's like a 7-year-old in his head.
Yeah.
And while he does a good job, it's still they still almost kind of sometimes play it up for laughs.
It has a lot to do also with what they decide to let the side characters or the characters around them do. In this case, they're not actually letting anyone really poke fun at her as a character.
No.
I mean, you have, you have Ida being it's a kind of jealousy about the attention.
Yeah. She's downright cruel to her sister.
But it's not like she's, the other kids around her are laughing at her for being, oh my god, she's so weird. No, it's just, I think you once have a couple of girls walk past and you can hear them snicker.
Oh yeah.
But that's the first reaction.
Yeah. And you know what? kids would do
yes,
that.
That's true.
I did that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know, you would walk around and say, "Oh, you're a fucking retard." You know,
Yeah.
That was what you did when you were a kid because you didn't know any better.
No, but then in other movies, they kind of go overboard with that, specifically when the person is like verbal and functioning, so to speak.
Yeah,
which is weird. Because that's when they'd start being, like, they're poking fun at the disability, not...
Yes. It's a very, very, very thin tightrope to walk when it comes to that. Because you have movies like Rain Man.
Yeah.
Where Dustin Hoffman...
Yeah, I was about to say Sean Penn again. But it's not.
Dustin Hoffman. It is slightly comedic. And guess what? Sometimes it is funny.
Yeah, of course.
It is. Like, if you live with people like that... Who is on the spectrum or who suffers from some sort of like that, they're not like haha look at the stupid person funny, but they are funny.
They're funny.
Yeah, they're funny.
Just like any other person could be funny sometimes.
Exactly. So I think like there in Rain Man it works because that's a comedy sort of like comedic drama movie. So there it works, you know. But since this is a like full on drama,
super serious
horror movie, yeah. There's none of that. They're not trying to even make it like cutesy funny sometimes.
They even make her just to add to like the power behind it all, she's the strongest of them all.
Yes.
I think the only like blockage she has is the fact that she doesn't properly know how to express herself, so she can't properly utilize all her strength until she gets to a point where she's like scared or angry properly.
Exactly.
When she starts honing her emotions, almost.
Yeah, with the help of Aisha.
Yes.
And that's also what I like about this, because they don't solely focus on like the kids like testing their powers and, you know, start to do bad things with their powers. It's also a story about acceptance, like Ida accepting her sister. Because like we said in the beginning, like the movie starts with her, they're in the car, she wakes up, and her sister just sitting there like making her noises, and in her mind being very annoying.
Yes.
She's annoying. She thinks she's, because, you know, that's what you think when you're that young.
Yeah.
So she just thought, and it's so perfectly because the way she just they play the close-ups of her face, close-ups of her hand, and how she keeps looking over to her parents, and then just very, very carefully just squeezes Anna's
she pinches her
thigh, or she pinches her like really hard.
You know, that like, way that the kids do when they really want to hurt you.
And it really hurt. You get those big welts, the Blue American. Yeah, it fucking hurts like hell. Yeah.
But then Anna doesn't react because
she doesn't react.
As far as Ida knows, she can't feel things.
She can't. Yeah, in her mind, she can't feel anything because she doesn't say "ouch" or start crying.
Yeah. Wow.
Because, you know, she internalizes.
Yes, exactly. Which Ida is, like we said, she's like 8. She doesn't understand it. And even if her parents have tried to tell her that, she, in her, like when she's angry or annoyed, she's not going to care about that.
She doesn't care. Yeah. And there's, of course, I don't want to spoil too much because there's a whole incident with the glass. Once again, so she doesn't actually show that she's hurting until they take,
when you know it, you can see small, like...
Oh, yeah, of course, when you know it, but she doesn't say, ow,
since she doesn't say it and her parents doesn't know that something's happening, they don't pick up on the small ticks, almost.
Exactly. Because she's so internalized. Yeah. She doesn't externalize anything.
So it's hard to read those small signals.
Yeah. I mean, she even struggles to like use the like stickers with words on it to like, communicate.
We've been focusing a lot on the sisters, but I want to talk about Ben specifically as well.
We should talk about Ben, yeah.
He is, without spoiling too much, he is exactly what we talked about last week. If things had continued the way they were, he would have grown up to become a serial killer, probably.
Oh yeah. And once again, it's not that it's layered. Like you understand why. First of all, like he's a little kid.
Yeah,
and he's discovered he has these powers, which is empowering.
Oh yes.
But then also, especially when he's able to show it to someone, because from what we know, no one else knows beside Anna, Aisha, and Ida.
Yeah,
he doesn't show it to anyone else.
I mean,
before them or during the movie.
It even seems like they can't really do it at first in front of other people until they meet similars.
Exactly. So he's kind of he definitely feels more powerful when he's able to like show like look what I can do.
Yeah.
Because at home he lives with an abusive mother.
Yes.
She's verbally and physically abusive.
Yeah, we get like one literal telling of that, but it's still very subtle. Which is a nice way. It's not like we see him get beaten up or anything.
No,
but
it's not like you stupid kid, and slaps him around every 5 minutes. No, it happens a couple of times, but it's enough to establish that like he is not in a good position at home.
They also
that's
have
why he
like the first I think incident where you kind of think something's up is when I don't remember why, but he's shirtless for a second, and you can see a giant bruise on his ribs.
Yeah.
And even Ida reacts to it, but she doesn't ask. Because then they get distracted by the cat in the scene.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and he kind of, because of his abuse, he's, of course, a little emotionally detached. He can't quite handle his emotions. That's why, he likes to torture animals.
Yeah.
In kind of severe ways. Oh my god, that scene with the fucking cat. I'm not a cat person, but even I was like, no, stop, don't. I don't want to say too much. There's a couple of things they do with that cat which is just horrific.
I gotta be honest though, because there's a very early scene with Ida when she like first leaves the apartment for the first time and like goes down to the little lake thing.
Yeah.
She crushes a worm, and I was like, holy shit, they're gonna hurt animals in this movie. Fuck. Yeah. I can't take this.
Yeah, but that's also, like, that's just, you kind of act out against something that's smaller than you. So she steps on an earthworm, which there is, in the end of the movie, of course, it says, like, no animals were harmed, and they were supervised during those things. But that looks like a real earthworm, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they fixed that one.
I wonder if technically it's an earthworm, so I guess that counts as an insect. That doesn't technically count as an animal.
I mean, they do like destroy anthills as well. Does that count?
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Hey, movie
that
industry,
looks like
what
a real
counts?
anthill. Hey, exactly. I don't know how lax they are in the north, but that would not fly in.
If you heard that was my Google for some reason. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't know what counts as animal abuse, but personally, I felt kind of weird when she crushed the worm.
Yeah, because it's so like she just does it because she's angry.
And
she does it out of anger.
You can tell
it's a small thing, but it's very telling, like how frustrated she is and angry she is with her life. Basically.
And it because. Sort of because of what we talked about last week, it's like, oh shit, this is how it starts.
Yeah,
it's only gonna get worse from here.
Yeah, but that's also like once again perfect like representation of childlike behavior. Yes. Like I remember, I think we both did this when we were. Don't worry, it's not that bad.
I'm like thinking, what are you gonna say?
I don't know if it was the same summer, but when we were in Gotland with our grandma, and she lived and worked on a farm.
Is it the one where I hated the cows?
Exactly. I was just not having it one day, and those goddamn cows were just staring at me.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I think it was the same summer.
You've done the same thing, and you just like, you try to scare the cows.
Yeah, specifically the calves, the kids.
Yeah, but they're just standing there because they're just fucking morons, and that just makes you even more angry. It's like, they didn't react. Go away. Yeah, because that's how children react.
Yeah, because we were upset about something. I remember both of us had like we were fighting or something. I think. Because we're siblings,
I don't know, if we just wanted to go home or something. Yeah, I don't know. It was something.
Those stupid cows were just always staring at us because they had the pen was right outside our front door where we slept.
Yeah, exactly. And
goddamn cows.
Always staring, yeah. And like, I was 9, so it's and you were like, what, 6?
Something, yeah.
Something like that? Yeah. Oh, maybe, yeah, I must have been like 10 or 11 then, because when I was 9, you were like a baby still.
Come on, I'm
like
only
5.
3.5 years younger or something. Is it 4.5? Yeah, 4.5, sorry.
Anyway, yeah, but yeah, so I like immediately recognized that behavior.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you did as a child. I remember running around like squishing snails and throwing rocks into anthills, because that's what idiot children do.
Yeah.
Fucking little bastards. That's what they are,
Especially when you live in like, you're bored in the summer, there's no friends around. Yeah. You have a forest to run around and roam in. Sure, you're gonna go do stupid stuff with poor animals. Not like big animals that you have to chase, but
No,
the tiny ones that you can torture a spider or, pull the wings off a fly.
Yeah. I never did that, but
I don't know if I've done that, to be honest. I know we've captured flies. Either way.
We never captured flies. Either way, yes. But that was, like we said, very, very near to like reality. Very, very reminiscent. Authentic, exactly, yeah. And then how that escalates.
Yes.
And then, they start doing the same thing to humans.
We need to get into that now. So if you don't want to have this movie completely spoiled, I mean, I'm cautiously recommending this because it is very uncomfortable to watch.
It's a tough watch. Yes. But it is a very, very good movie. Like I said,
it's very well made
and very well made. The music, the cinematography, the acting, like we said, from children,
I think there's one camera movement in one scene that I absolutely hated.
Yeah?
I don't remember if it's zooming in or zooming out when Ben is like falling asleep after doing a bunch of horrible shit and he unconsciously makes someone else do something else horrible. There's one of those like zoom in or zoom out. I remember that just looked terrible. But that was
I really liked that when it was always like a drone shot flying around the houses. Oh, okay. Maybe it's nothing the same thing.
No, I think you're thinking of something else. Because this is literally one scene.
Oh, okay.
And they like it's one cut in one scene that is specifically handheld and moves weird. I'll show you later. Oh, okay. That's the only scene I was like, what the hell just happened? What the fuck?
Yeah, but on that, I loved how they like just to like show that something was off. There was a lot of like upside down shots, especially those when he starts like projecting his powers. And it's like they're just flying in between all the concrete houses.
Mm-hmm.
But if you pay attention, some of the shots are upside down. It almost feels like they're models of houses, not real houses, just to make it look weird.
At one point, I was like, are they going to show us him flying around? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I got that feeling. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna go. We gotta get into some specific scenes and stuff. So, if you don't want anything more spoiled, please check out the movie. Here in Sweden, it's streaming on Prime Video. I don't know if you can find it anywhere else, but just if you can get a hold of it, check out The Innocents. Really, really good, but really, really tough movie.
Yes.
Yeah. So, from now on, spoilers. Here's where the spoiler cast starts.
Yes. So,
let's talk about when they throw the cat down the stairs.
Yeah, what the fuck? What the fuck? That was the first, I think that's about 23 minutes in.
Yeah.
I was like, if we hadn't decided that we were going to record this, I would have, and you just had told me, like, watch this movie because it's really good. I would have turned it off and not finished it at that point.
It's like,
fuck no. Not just because I have cats, in general.
Like I said, that's what I, who's not a cat person, like, actively dislikes cats. That seems like, no, that's not what you do to animals.
No, like, sure. I understand, like, you want to see if a cat lands on its feet.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
10 stories up?
They go all the way up, and they just drop it down, the middle of the spiral staircase,
that was, oh my god.
The worst part is, they don't show it, of course.
No.
They just show it disappear into the darkness. But you can even hear that it doesn't just go straight down, it hits the handrail on the way down. You hear that boom sound, and then they just show the cat. I was like, oh fuck, it survived, but it's limping.
Yeah,
but obviously it's already, but it's already dying, because when they find it later in the storage area, it's basically given up. It's just lying there.
No, but that's an animal thing. If you break something enough, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna hide and die, because what's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
Specifically, like, wild animals.
Yeah, and then they go up to it, and at that point, Ida's still kind of in on it.
Yeah.
But then Ben's just like, look what I can do to its head.
No, he even asks her, should I kill it? She's like, no.
Yeah.
And then he crushes the skull with the heel of his foot.
Yeah, and that's when
my
even
God,
she's
I almost
like,
vomited.
Yeah, that's when even she's like, yeah, I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah.
just goes away.
Because up until that, they've been laughing and having fun. He showed her his power, and she's like, oh my God, that's so cool. Can I do it? And she's like, try. No, she doesn't really get.
She could. Yeah.
But after that, she's like, I don't want to play with you anymore, dude. You're weird. You killed the cat.
Yeah. Some time passes though, and that's when they start hanging out with Aisha.
Yeah, because Aisha starts connecting with Anna, and Ida like, sure, you can take her. I don't have to watch my sister then. Cool.
Yeah,
you guys seem to have fun. I'll leave you with her.
Yeah. But then, like children, she kind of forgets that Ben seems to be an evil fucking bastard.
Yeah.
So she starts hanging out with him again. And, but and that's also like, that's that kind of behavior from someone who isn't, has a screw loose, basically. Like, he like tests the limits of what Ida is okay with.
Yeah.
Like, first, she's okay with dropping the cat. She's not okay with him killing the cat.
Yeah.
And then the next thing is like, she's okay with them testing out the powers. She's not okay with him like using it to kill that guy.
Yeah, she's not. She even gets a bit upset when the four of them are trying out their powers to see how far away they can be to hear each other in the woods.
Right.
And she makes fun of it by saying like, "Oh, Ben is a poopy head" or something. Yeah. And he gets upset because
he gets very upset.
He's like, you
don't call each other names.
Yeah, or something like that. You don't laugh at your friends or something.
Yeah.
And he pushes Aisha over with his mental powers. She's like, I went too far. Shit. She backs up almost.
Yeah.
And she again goes, oh shit. This is where the limit is. This is where my limit is.
Yeah, and that's where he starts like, hey, I can use these powers to, like, make things better for me. So like, my mom, well, she's not gonna yell at me or hit me anymore.
Yeah.
So he hits her with a fucking frying pan in the head.
I had to close my eyes at one point in that scene because I was afraid he would do something even worse, probably. I don't know what. I was like, I can't look at this. I just can't.
Yeah. Yeah, and that
like,
scene
sure,
also, it's
his mother seemed pretty bad.
Yeah. Very bad, I would say.
Yeah.
We don't, we see, like we said, you see the bruises.
Yeah, but
we see how she treats him.
Yeah, she's a bitch. But
yeah, she doesn't deserve to be killed.
No.
But I understand why he did it. That's how a child would react. Like, stop hitting me, or I'll hit you back. And that's what he does.
The way he reacts afterwards is what scared me the most. Because he's like, he sort of...
Or a lack of reaction.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. He sort of goes into like, oh, I'll help you, mama, and then just leaves it.
Doesn't. Yeah.
He doesn't call anyone or like leaves even. He just sits there and starts eating his dinner.
Yeah. And then when he's like, he gets kind of worried, like, oh my God, is she dead? So he flips over the boiling pot of water on her legs.
Yeah.
And she doesn't react. She's like, yeah, she's dead.
Well, she squirms.
Barely.
But she does wake up later on.
Later, yeah.
Because, first of all, she gets hit in the head with a frying pan, which is a heavy cast iron skillet.
It's a cast iron, yeah.
So she's knocked out, obviously.
Yeah.
On top of that, she gets a pot of like several liters of boiling water on her legs, which makes her pass out from the pain.
Yeah, and gives her these giant, gross blisters. It is so disgusting.
So it's like a day later she wakes up, or something.
Yeah. And he's just put some towels around her.
Yeah, she's like, oh, sorry, mama. Pats it a little bit.
You're fine, mom. Yeah. But then she just dies, and he doesn't care.
Yeah, because, we see her react, and then nothing.
No, we see her lie there, a couple of times after that, and she's just not moving.
He left her to die on the kitchen floor.
Yeah, because
like,
she
I
didn't have
understand lashing out at a parent, specifically a parent like that, and when you have those powers, I understand lashing out, but I don't understand not having remorse and like calling someone. But that's part of him being obviously psychotic of some sort.
Yeah, and also like, if I tell anyone, I'm gonna
be in trouble.
I'm gonna get in trouble. Yeah. So it's better just leave it.
I was like, he could have made up some story about someone breaking in, or it was an accident.
Yeah,
she fell. I don't know.
But not with the water, I think, because
no, that's probably hard to explain.
Yeah.
Although I'm not sure they would imagine like him doing it.
And the longer he waits,
the weirder
the more
it gets.
difficult it's going to be to explain it away. So at some point, like children, you just don't say anything.
Yeah.
And eventually your parents find out, but in this situation,
there's no one to find out.
Not going to find out. Yeah, exactly.
He does show. He doesn't show remorse, but he misses her at least at like 1 or 2 points.
Yes, because her dying, like he said, he didn't really like her.
No,
obviously, so he doesn't really care. But when things start going bad for him, when Ida and Aisha are not like, they don't want to be friends with him anymore, and what he thinks is just, I'm just using my cool powers, and they kind of back away from him. That's when he gets angry and sad, because why don't they like me anymore?
Yeah, he doesn't understand.
Starts lashing out against them. Yeah, he's obviously like disturbed that way. Like it's a cycle of abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which is
once again very very well depicted in this movie.
We talked about that in the last episodes about serial killers. How it's not just it's not just being a serial killer. You're not just psychotic. There's a reason you have usually an upbringing where you didn't get enough attention, or you got punished for stupid things, which made you usually suppress your emotions or hide that you were upset with things.
Yeah,
and it just accumulates.
I gotta say though, I've almost seen all of the Netflix Dahmer show.
Oh yeah.
And I like it. I think it's because there's so many episodes, it's a bit exploitative.
Yeah.
In a way that the movie wasn't, that we watched. But it also shows that he was just a fucking
psycho,
crazy person.
Yeah. No, sure. There's obviously that as well.
Yeah.
But there's usually a trigger of some sort.
Yes, exactly. There's a trigger. But he, like, the way, and when you read about him, because I gotta say, it sticks pretty close to, what is known about him. If you read up about him on Wikipedia and other places, like, that behavior was always there.
Sure.
And his dad has even said, which isn't really, doesn't have to mean that there's something, but even he has said that he had like similar thoughts when he was young, like killing people and. But hey, every kid has those kind of things. I wish my fucking friend was dead because he called me a poopy head.
Yeah, sure. Everyone has that.
It's just that you don't take it any further than that. But
because if you're emotionally developed, you know how to handle it.
Exactly. Benjamin doesn't. Instead, he possesses
people.
a poor man and makes him kill a bully.
Yeah, that just like... as far as we know,
with a rock or something.
Yeah, as far as we know, that kid only he was rude to him once when they Benjamin and Ida just kind of took one of the footballs and started playing football without asking. Exactly. So I can sort of understand that the guy goes like, "No, dude, that's my ball," but he says it in the wrong way, so Ben takes it as an insult.
And then lashes out when he's angry.
Yeah, and he chooses that boy because he sees him every now and then, at least.
Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna, get some retribution.
You.
Yeah. People hurt me, so I'm gonna hurt them back.
But he doesn't know how far hurt is and where the line goes when you start killing people.
Exactly. And that line keeps going further and further away from him. And at one point, he's even trying to hurt both Ida and Anna, and he, spoilers, when he kills Aisha.
I mean, he tries to kill her once with literally making her heart stop, or is he restricting her breathing? I'm not sure. I
think, no, she's breathing. I think it's, he's trying to, squeeze her heart or something.
Yeah. Like, fucking Darth Vader style.
And that's when we see Anna, like, really, like, react.
Mm-hmm.
She, like, screams at him and, like, locks eyes with him.
Scares him.
Yeah, she doesn't even use her powers. She just walks up towards him, and he knows because he's been in her head.
Yeah.
He knows the powers she has.
It's like he can feel it emanating from her without her actually using it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because you can almost feel, you can see on him that he's like, what's it called? Ryggar tillbaka. It's like flinching or something, as if you know, a hot wind or something is from a fire is pushing against your face.
Yeah, he gets scared. Yeah, he's like, yeah.
It's a physical reaction to just seeing her.
Yeah.
Really, really great acting, by the way.
Yeah, and once again, very well
that
made.
Kid, when he actually screams and cries, I think it's the first time, when he, like, goes home, or the second time, when he goes home and starts screaming into his shirt.
Sits by the door, yeah.
Holy shit. I was like, what did they do to this kid? Did they, like, make him really upset? Because how the hell did they make him do that?
That's also interesting because that's obviously, you know, a good kid actor, but it's also, like, the director, Eskil Vogt.
Yes.
And I think this is, like, his first movie?
Yeah, all of the kids. I'm double checking here, but
the director.
Yeah, that too, probably. All of the kids, first of all, first acting gig in a proper movie. And director Eskil Vogt, he's done
one movie before this called Blind. Also, very highly I can't use my words. It has very good critical scores. It's a critical darling. It has a high Metascore, you know. And it's also, of course, I think he became most famous last year when he wrote the movie The Worst Person in the World, which was, like, universally hailed as one of the greatest movies, not only of that year, but, like, in general. I haven't seen it, but I really want to check it out. It was, I think it won, like, an Oscar for Best Foreign Film, and it was
so nominated for 2 Oscars well received. At least.
Yeah, it was so well received, and I really want to watch it, especially now that, like, okay, now I know that guy can really write a good movie. Yeah. So I want to check that out. Yes,
because he wrote The Innocents as well.
Exactly, yeah.
And then also managed to direct these 4 young actors who have not done any acting properly like this before. Yeah. In such a great way. I think, though, just if I'm understanding correctly, the girl who played Ida, Rakel Leonora Flotum, somewhere I read that her mother is in the movie as well.
Yes, she plays her actual mother.
Right, yeah. They have different names, though. That's confusing me. Different last names. So but that
Ida's in movie mom is her real mom.
Yeah. Though I don't know how that probably didn't help any of the other kids. Might have helped. No, exactly.
Ida, and they don't even have that many scenes together.
No, that's true.
But probably, it definitely would.
The last would scene, and it helped when the mom had to, like, scream at her at one point.
Yeah. So she could actually do it. She didn't have to act. She could just
like scream. Get mad at her kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that oh my god, that crying scene is, because he cries at one more point where it doesn't feel as convincing, and sometimes when he uses his powers and he does the whole, rolling his eyes back into his head, kind of looks silly. But it's also, I think,
but I also understand it.
Yeah, it's probably how a kid imagines using his powers, so he's gonna do it to tell his body that I am now using my powers.
But also, a thing we haven't talked about, which once again, kudos to the director, because you have these children and they have, like, we see in the final confrontation, so to speak, they have, like, immense powers.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this isn't just like, ooh, I can push a rock with my mind. No. They have, like Chronicle level powers.
Yeah, the escalation of the powers are just like in Chronicle, except they don't fly.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, they probably could if they wanted to.
Yeah.
But that's also what I like. There is the restraint. We never see them do, like, the the clutching hands, the claw hand, like,
or like pushing, like they do in Stranger Things when Eleven puts both her hands out and like screams to push her power out. No,
exactly. And there's no like
that's all they do.
Yeah, there's no like what's it called? Blast wave, like whoosh.
No, there's
no. It never becomes. Even though they have superpowers, yeah, like in Stranger Things or like in Chronicle or like the fucking Star Wars Jedi guys.
Yeah.
The Jedi.
The Force users?
The Force, yeah, exactly. It never gets silly.
No.
Even when they start using the powers like a lot, it never gets silly. It always feels grounded and real.
It's the clenching of fists and like tensing of muscles instead. Yeah, he does the rolling eyes thing, but that's the only time it looks kind of silly.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't even think it looks because it's literally when he's basically leaving.
Sure,
his body
and like possessing someone else.
Yeah,
and like I said, it's also one thing that as a kid, that's how you imagine doing that.
Yeah.
So it's like he's forcing it.
Yeah, the only thing, and it's literally half a second long, that shot, is when he takes over Aisha's mother's body to kill Aisha.
Yeah.
And for just, basically a frame, we see, from the mother's point of view, we see Aisha as a monster.
Yes.
That's why she kills her, because she attacks her with a knife. And that, obviously, they just put like a werewolf mask on the kid who plays Aisha, and gave her like long, like witch nails.
Yeah,
basically.
like glue-on nails.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's super quick, it's all dark and backlit, so you can't really see. But it looks kind of silly.
It does, but there's a reason for it.
It's a monster in a dress.
There's a reason for it, though. I think, because first off, he has. It's not Aisha though. He just has something, making the mother see something crawling in the living room out the corner of her eye.
Yeah,
that is just an imagination. After that, he makes Aisha look like a monster because he needs the mother to be scared of whatever she's supposed to kill.
Yeah.
He does do the same. He does do the same thing to Ida when she's running through the woods.
She sees like scary men in the woods.
Yeah, I think
snakes.
He uses fear to make them do something.
Oh, of course, and that's not the problem. Is just that the monster makeup looked silly.
Sure,
that's my problem with it.
But I think that worked because he gave me a what the fuck moment.
Yeah, sure. But if you pause that, it just looks super bad.
I didn't have time to acknowledge.
It's literally a frame. No, but did
you pause it?
No, I didn't pause it. But like for one frame, I was like, fuck you. But then it was straight back because then we have the slow knife into the back of a 7-year-old child, which is just like, oh my god. And when the mom like
realizes,
she snaps back, and she starts like screaming and crying over her
dying daughter,
and she's not dead yet, but she's like obviously like hit the spine because she's not moving.
Yeah, she can't move anymore.
She's completely like limp, and she just goes, "Mommy, what happened?"
Can I have a bandage? And Mom's like, yeah, I'm gonna get you a bandage.
She doesn't even say that it hurts because obviously she lost. She hit the spine.
It's also it's shock.
Anything.
You can't really, you don't really know what's happening.
She's like, yeah, mommy, because it bleeds. Like, she can't have a bandage, but yeah, I'll get you a bandage. I'll get you. And then she just goes.
Yeah.
She's gone. And yeah, so it's so. I mean, it helps that it's a child.
Yeah,
because violence against children are always 10 times worse than violence against grown-ups. But it's even beyond it being towards a child, it's just so. It's so raw, like just it's so fucking in your face, without being like exploitative or being like excessive gore or anything.
You don't get to. You see the blade go into her back, but you don't see. It's not like it's fast or violent and splashing blood or there's like flesh wounds.
It just goes in. You don't even see blood on the knife. Well, you see on that, but you don't see the wound. You see blood pool out. Under her after that. But it's not like she's on her back and squirting everywhere, and she's like, oh, no. She just lays down in a pool of blood, and she's like, Mommy, can I have a Band-Aid? And then she dies. She's like, oh.
They build up to it, obviously, because we have a few scenes that, before that, is her, Aisha being scared. She knows something's gonna happen. So she asks her mom
she can feel it, because like we said, she is connected to them all.
Yes.
She can feel something happen.
She is connected in an emotional
She's aware
and mental
when Benjamin kills his mother.
Yeah. She doesn't understand it. And she doesn't really understand what is happening, but she knows something is happening because she can see the blood on her mother's face.
Yeah, she knows something is happening.
Someone is bleeding, but she doesn't understand who. She goes like, "Mom, can I sleep in your bed? I'm scared." And her mom's like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead. Like, of course." And she even goes like, "Are you gonna go to work tonight?" Because I think the mom's a night nurse or a nurse of some sort.
Yeah, she's a nurse of some kind. Yeah, she's a nurse.
So she works night shifts sometimes. She's like, "No, I'm not working tonight. I'll be in shortly." And she's just gonna watch TV or something. But then no. Ben manages to possess her, and oh my god.
Yeah, that was almost tougher than the cat scene.
Yeah.
Because it's a character I actually cared about. I don't really care about the cat, but it was still horrific.
Yeah, because Aisha is the cute, like, sunshine character. She's very positive.
She's like completely innocent.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And she's also the youngest, I think.
And the youngest, yeah. I think she's like 6 or 7 years old, or supposed to be.
And somehow still the most emotionally developed character.
Yeah,
perhaps
because
she's a bit of an empath of some sort.
Exactly, she's an empath, yeah. Oh my god. And then, of course, yeah, there is once again just a perfect like child reaction. When Ida talks to her mom, like, how do you deal with someone who's like mean to you?
Yeah.
You tell your parents, like, yeah, but what if you are a grown up? You can't tell a grown up. And she's like trying to like not say like deal with it yourself, but it's basically kind of what
she does say. Like you solve it.
Yeah, you got to solve the problem,
or you call the police in case that's what you need to do.
But she doesn't want to call the police.
No, because then she has to explain stuff.
How's she going to explain? Like, oh yeah.
I mean, she's not believed when she tries to tell her mom that Anna is speaking again. Mom, she said words, and Mom's like, "No, stop it! You're being silly."
No. But then she see it when they sit in the sandbox. Oh my god, that's a great scene as well.
And the mother just starts crying.
Yeah, it's the one time the parent character has any real like. Anything to do in a scene, really. And it's a very, very good scene.
And Aisha's like, even though she's understanding of emotions, she's like, "Are you okay?" She doesn't understand that Anna speaking is spectacular.
No, because in her head, she's always spoken.
Literally in her head.
Since the first time since she met her the first time. Once again.
But Ida...
she's a child.
Understanding that she has to deal with it in her own way somehow. And she matches Ben's energy, sort of.
Yeah.
Because she knows he's dangerous.
At first, I wasn't sure where it was going. But at first, like, she takes all the money she has and she buys this cool plane for him,
that they can play with. It's like she's trying to, like, make amends or something.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what a kid would do. They would buy something to make them, happy again.
Yeah. To forget the issue.
Yeah, and I was like, that's exactly what I would do. Like, here's a present, don't be angry at me anymore.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you do as a grown-up as well sometimes. You're like, come on, let me buy you a drink and we're good.
But then, when they're on that bridge...
Oh, God.
She's like...
She even tries to make him stand in a specific spot that he will land on, because there's underneath this bridge, this walk bridge.
They're on an overpass.
Yeah. There's cars running underneath, and pretty fast cars. Yeah. Like, it's not a highway, but, they're not slow.
No.
She even wants him to make sure that he's standing on the edge of the bridge, or the railing, where he will fall
the cars
down
will hit him.
Onto the cars.
Yeah. So and it's so funny because, like every dumb idea you have as a child, a goddamn grown-up has to intervene.
Yes.
She's just about to push him, and then, like, a random-ass lady on a bike is like, "Hey, get down from there!"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Fuck, my plan is gonna fall apart. Quick decision," and just pushes him and runs away. And he's like, "Oh!"
I mean, she knows what she has to do, though. She knows that if he keeps on, he's gonna be a menace to society. He's gonna kill people. Sure.
But it's still horrific that she just pushes him off the bridge.
It's horrific that a child even, like, the only solution she can think of...
I have to kill him.
I have to kill him. Yeah. That's the only way I can get out of this.
Once again, very affecting to see a child come to the conclusion that I have to kill my friend, my 9-year-old friend.
Otherwise, he might
Yikes.
kill me.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, well, she fails, and he tries to kill her.
He lands on the side in the grass, which he still falls 15 feet. It's a miracle he doesn't break anything, but he just walks away from there.
Though, he probably does break something, but we do realize that Ida can heal her own bones, sort of.
Well,
because her leg gets broken later on.
Yeah, she escapes into the woods, but then she starts hallucinating because he wakes up.
Yeah,
and she starts seeing these scary men in the woods and the snakes.
Yeah.
So she steps out into
to a street.
She comes out of the forest and steps onto a road and she gets hit by a car.
That car was a terrible driver, I have to say, because when you see a child
so far away, just brake earlier
slow
than
down,
10,
dude.
10 centimeters from her. Yeah.
No, they keep going at the same speed and swerves. You idiot! You should lose your license.
Yeah. But yeah, she ends up in the hospital with a broken. Yeah, she ends up in the hospital with a broken leg
and a bit of a concussion.
Yeah.
And an inexplicable cut in her hand because she grabs a piece of glass along the way when she's being hunted by these shadow figures.
Yeah. But at that point, we don't know how long she has the cast.
No, that's true, but
I don't think she heals her own bones. But
her mother is very surprised. What the heck happened to your cast? You can walk?
Sure. But I think
maybe they're just quick healers or something.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think she's supposed to heal it quicker. Yeah, no.
No, he probably got lucky and didn't break anything. That's
exactly. And in the meantime, he tries to kill them again with that random guy who tries to get into the building, which is it's such a small scene.
Yeah, at first
it's fucking creepy.
You're wait, what's going? That's a dude. In the background,
why is he not even
is he following them?
Yeah, but then it was then
he speeds up and oh shit.
Yeah. And Ida realizes this, but she's kind of stuck because of her cast. Mm-hmm. But then she kind of at this point she has fully connected though to Anna to the point where she's saying she's sorry for how she treated her before, and she's and that's also of course. She's doing that because she knows that Anna can save her. So, she's doing it to save herself, but it's also it feels genuine that she's scared.
Yeah, she wants to be with her sister again.
Yeah,
sort
exactly.
of like
they
she
were
was
when they were all
could,
having fun.
Yeah, when they could speak, when they could have fun together.
Exactly.
And she's sorry that
we didn't mention that. When Aisha dies, of course, she reverts back to non-verbal communication because, she has no one to help her in her head anymore. Because Aisha isn't there to help her.
Yeah, a detail that they show us a few times is whenever Anna does speak, it's like Aisha is putting the words in her mouth.
Yes, exactly.
Because Aisha can sit in another room in another building and say the words out loud, which makes Anna say them out loud somehow.
Exactly, yeah.
Which kind of feels like she's possessing her, but I don't think she is. She's just feeding her the information. Sort of.
And then ties into that when Ida finally accepts her sister because of all that has happened, and she makes that connection to she's we're sisters. I love my sister.
Yeah.
I no longer I understand my sister now, so I'm not angry at her anymore. She makes that connection, which of course then makes Anna have she's not quite as lucid as she was when Aisha was around. But she takes matters into her own hands. She just leaves. She goes out to confront Benjamin.
Because I guess she can feel that he's around. Because he's staring at them.
Once again, because they had that connection as well. Just not as strong as Aisha. And at that point also, because Anna runs away and Ida wants to protect her or help her or do something at least.
Be with her at least.
She feels responsible because she's always had to be responsible for her.
Also, she's the one who introduced them all.
Yes, exactly.
Like I said, she's the connecting point between them all. So it's
but she of course can't get down the stairs. There's no elevator.
Well, there is an elevator, but it's very slow.
All right.
She presses the button a few times, like, nope, this is taking too long. Can I slide down the stairs? And then she starts hitting her cast on the edge of the one of the steps.
Yeah, she wants to get out of her cast.
Yeah.
And then she's so fucking, once again, frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
Her emotions start swelling, and that's, when the powers manifest.
Yes.
And she, with the power of her mind, breaks the cast. So
she does, however, scream and stomp.
Yes, she has to
But
manifest them like,
it is because, like we said, she hasn't been able to manifest it until now. Probably because she hasn't
to Anna.
She hasn't had enough of an emotional reaction to it, perhaps.
No, exactly. And now, like,
now she's actually scared and angry.
Yeah, my sister, who I love, she's might be in danger. I have to do something to help her, and that's when her powers manifest.
Yeah.
So, kind of to mirror the first time that Ida meets Ben, when they actually see each other across the lake in the beginning.
Yeah.
Once again, Ben is on the other side of the lake while Anna is staring at him.
Yes.
And they start, you see, like, there's ripples on the water going back, from him towards her. And, like, children around them start reacting. Like,
babies start crying. And like, younger children are just zoning in on it.
Something's happening, but something, I'm not sure what.
It's like they can feel the powers.
Yes.
Perhaps all children can feel... I mean, that's the thing they say,
children
though.
Have that...
Yeah, they're closer to the veil, so to speak, so they can...
Yes, exactly.
They can sense it. Children and animals. Because, dogs are barking as well.
Yes. And then Ida, she goes down there, and she takes Anna's hand.
Yes.
And that's kind of when they start winning that stare down, basically.
Yeah. Because Ben he makes Anna, like, topple over once because she's hesitant or something. Or, she doesn't have Aisha supporting her, so she feels alone, I
Exactly,
suppose.
and he's more powerful.
And more angry, probably.
And more violent, more angry.
So then when the sisters connect...
Yeah. And he's, like, forced to sit down on the swing set. Mm-hmm. And then, they basically just, like, will him to die.
They squeeze his heart or something.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And then it's just because he's just trying his damnedest to get out of there. But then when he dies, there's just whoosh. That's the one time you see like a big like
reaction,
CGI effect. You see all the like toys around him move, and all the kids, they react.
Yeah, there's literally one kid who falls over.
Yes.
But the parents don't react to it, though.
Yeah, no parent reacts to it.
And then you see one kid going closer to him because her, like, football or something rolls towards him.
Yeah.
And she freaks out. And then they cut.
Yeah. But it's also because you see, like, children... The powers are so strong at this point, so children around them in the houses go out onto their balconies to look. And then when the second he dies, they're like... Alright, show's over, and they just disappear back to their apartments.
Ugh.
And then they see him, or the little kid.
One kid sees him, and she's like, "Whoa, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
We still don't see, like, parents reacting or anyone going up to him like, "Are you okay, kid?" No, we just see that one girl going, no, and leaves.
Yeah, but that's because this was never a story about the parents.
No,
it was a story about the children.
Yes,
and that world they inhabit that parents don't understand. You grow out of it as when you become older, sort of.
Hopefully, I guess.
Yeah, which once again, this is beautiful how he managed to weave that childlike, like, fancy wonderment into this horrific story. Yeah, and then it just ends there. But they have accomplished everything. That they wanted to with the movie, the story,
and they defeated the bad guy.
Yeah. Through the power of love.
And sisterhood.
Yeah.
I suppose. Family. Because, I mean...
Fucking chef's kiss.
Yes.
Not quite 10 out of 10. Honestly, it's not even that, like, it's something holding it back from being a 10 out of 10.
No,
it's just that, to be a 10 out of 10 or a 5-star movie, then you need to be something very special. You need to be the fucking Northman, You need to be Top Gun Maverick.
And you also have to have, like, terrifying movies can obviously be a 10 out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
But they have to have something that captures you enough to, like, maybe I will rewatch this. I will never rewatch this movie. And that's why I couldn't give it. I think I gave it like a 3.5.
Ooh,
because
I gave it a 4.5.
It was too disturbing. It was too good, literally. That's the thing, though. It was too good that it's too disturbing that I can't in good conscience give this a high rating because that might make other people think it's a good movie to watch. It is, but it isn't. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
I would say at least bump it up to a 4.
Yeah, I mean, that was my initial reaction.
Yeah.
All of my, like, Letterboxd reviews are straight after the movie, basically.
Yeah.
They might change in the future. Specifically when we're talking about the A24 movies later on.
Yeah.
Which is why, that project is going to take a while.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so funny because I read some of the reviews after I saw it, and like towards the end of the movie, I just looked what people thought of it, and I was like, really, they're like this affected by it? But then that fucking ending happened. I was like, and then you just started thinking like, oh shit, yeah, this is because it's so strange because like it's never like hyper violent. It's never like there's never a moment where you like. In that moment, or like it's like scared. I mean, there are some unsettling moments, but not like yeah. There are a couple ones, but there's
like a few jump scares, and you're obviously like worried.
Yeah, there's this it really creeps up on you. Like there's this cumulative effect. Like first, like that cat scene was horrible, but the rest was fine. But then it's just building. There's that and there's that, and when the ending comes around, you're just like. Holy fuck, what did I just watch?
Yeah. You know what my favorite part is, though? This movie, it did not beat around the bush. It had literally 2 seconds before they showed, like, the true character of the people in it. Because you have Ida straight away pinching Anna. But then also you have literally, like, it takes, 5 minutes to realize that, these kids are fucked up.
Yes.
They become friends straight away. They start hanging out, and it moves really quickly while still taking your time to explore the development of the powers and of the relationships, and but it's still so because I hate movies that open with 30 minutes of like world building almost.
Yeah, you don't need that.
No.
This is just a story about these children. Exactly. So tell that story.
Yeah, because normally you'd have like, you get to see where they live and they like go to school and you see a bunch of kids that have no purpose. No, you just see these children, literally, Ida and Ben.
Perfect. Yeah, this is perfect storytelling. There's no fact. You can't really cut anything out of this.
No, not really.
Not, I mean, of course, a few seconds
There's always seconds.
There's no superfluous scene. There's no, like, unnecessary scene. Like, you didn't really need to show this violent part. But no, every scene has a reason to exist in the script. To tell the story, to define the characters. I just gotta quickly, because we haven't done that in a while, I think at least. I gotta bash Disney a little bit.
We've been good on not talking about Disney,
Not really, but I saw some, guy, one of those nitpicky people who makes like a 2-hour video about one episode of a TV show.
Oh God!
I don't know if you've ever come across any of those. There's this guy Mahler who can literally make a 5, 8, 10-hour podcast about one episode of a TV show.
That sounds insane. I mean, I find us being long-winded sometimes about a 2-hour movie. Holy shit! That sounds annoying.
He has a podcast called Every Frame a Pause.
Oh shit!
They literally nitpick every second of a movie. It is even when I agree with him that it's a bad movie, it's like this is too much. Do something more creative with your life. This is insane. Just say it's bad. It's okay, Anyway, I saw some similar, not as severe, but someone similar like this. He talked about the first, 2 or 3 episodes of Andor. It took like an hour. I only watched like the first 10 minutes.
The one we couldn't even like watch more than an episode of.
Here in the end of our spoiler cast, let's do a quick TV cast for Andor. It sucked.
Yeah, we're not gonna,
and I'm not gonna watch it anymore.
No.
Yeah, even though people seem to like it, I don't get it.
Nope.
I thought it was terrible.
Yep.
Anyway, so he starts talking about, and it was so infuriating, talking about world building. He talked about how Star Wars has never been able to get away from, the kind of childish stuff, which even though it gets darker, it's always, it's never been like a mature thing, Even like Revenge of the Sith or The Empire Strikes Back, it's always, been PG-13, so to speak. Whatever. And he thought it was really good that they finally managed to move away from that and actually show us, not this kind of like silly fairy tale version where the evil empire controls everything. Like, no, you have like local security forces who are hired by the empire. Now that the empire controls everything, they're like given more power than they had before. And you see like how what's it called? Like inskränkta personer. What's it called? Whatever. Like a security guard who thinks he's like the biggest guy ever because he has the fucking.
I was about to say narrow-minded, but that's not what you're going for.
Nah, well, sort of, yeah. And he's like, it's really interesting to see how the galaxy works outside of Jedis and the Empire. And it's like,
oh, so you want to see slice of life in Star Wars?
And I was just like, I literally said out loud, watching this by myself in the dark, I was like, no, because that was never the point of Star Wars. The point of Star Wars was to tell the story of Luke Skywalker and his father.
And if you want to stretch it a little bit, it's about the fantastical part about being a Jedi and their creed and stuff. It's the fight about good and evil.
Yes, it's a classic tale of good and evil. You have your hero, you have your evil wizard, you have your prince, your damsel in distress, you have the cool sidekick.
Yeah.
It was always just a classic fairy tale, good versus evil. Like, all the world building, literally, sorry for this, literally, the only reason that they have all the names of the planets and all the characters and all the ships have these names, do you know why they have the names?
No.
Because they needed to put something on the toy boxes.
Oh.
That's the only reason you have names for all these characters.
Like apart from the main cast, so to speak.
Of course. But like every weird character in the cantina scene, in the first movie, they have names. Because if those characters have names, you can put that on a box and sell it as an action figure. It was never because George Lucas wanted to create this vast universe
of
characters
money.
And intricate, socio-political, systems. No.
He wanted to make
tell
money.
A story. Yeah, he wanted to tell a story about Luke Skywalker fighting the evil Darth Vader and then later the evil Emperor. The rest was just dressing. And saying that, finally we can explore the Star Wars universe in a more mature way, that is the complete antithesis of what Star Wars was from the beginning. And for me at least, hey, if you like it, good for you, but for me, it's complete opposite of what Star Wars was always about.
Yeah.
Sorry. And that's what you said. Like, a good story does not need hours and hours or pages and pages of world building, because you have everything you need in these four characters.
I mean, sure.
If you flesh something out just to make it feel more lived in, realistic,
yes,
fine. That's fine.
I was about to say that because they're like in books specifically, you do need a little bit of like world building because you need to set the scene.
Exactly, so people can imagine what it looks like.
When you have visuals, you don't need to set the scene because the scene is right there.
Exactly. We don't need to know what's going on this salt mining planet and these asshole guards who are like, I'm better than you, so I'm gonna kill you, or like, who gives a fuck?
No.
Yeah, and that's the same thing here. Like, imagine if they started, like you said, like, they spent like 25 minutes showing like, this is what's going on in school with Ida.
Or like trying to convince us and show us in several scenes that Ida is jealous of her sister instead of having these tiny moments of her. Like, we did briefly mention the glass in the shoe.
Oh, we have to mention. Yeah, she picks up pieces of glass and puts in Anna's shoe.
I assume, because we don't know how the pieces of glass get there, but it looks like I assume that perhaps Anna broke a glass.
Yeah.
And it's like she's like, oh, so she can break a glass and get away with it? Fuck you. And puts pieces of glass in her shoe. That's what it feels and like. Because she's like, if I would have broken the glass, I would have get yelled at. They would have been so mad at me. But no, she's getting coddled.
It's like the first 10 minutes of the movie. At this point, she still hates.
Oh yeah,
she hates Anna.
She hates her.
She has no love for her sister. Yeah,
because she's been living with him for 8 years. She's like, stop. You're just for her. It's like she's asking for attention.
Yeah, and this is what I'm talking about. It's little details.
Yes.
It's little details that tell such an affecting story. Like this simple story without any world building or anything was so much more affecting than every Star Wars movie combined for me.
Yeah.
Just to bring it back to Star Wars. There's this saying, and I think it's so important when it comes to storytelling. There's this saying called brevity is the soul of wit. Basically meaning like,
yeah, you want to translate that for me?
Yeah, the more concise you make something and still being able to portray, the emotions or deliver the ideas you have, the better it is. Like the more concise you can tell a story and still get what you want to get across, the better it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in the details, basically.
Yeah, the devil's in the details.
Yeah, that's the one that came to mind. The devil's in the detail, because that's where you see it. Yeah. I want to point out, because we need to wrap this up, but I want to point out because I looked at IMDb and Letterboxd, and most of the reviews are all like
is part
4 to 5 stars, 7 to 10 stars. They're all very positive. There's one dude or one person.
Produced and directed by
I honestly don't know. No.
Executive
5 out of 10, which is fine.
And Laura Kinney. Also a huge shout out to all our patrons.
Is
Laura Kinney.
Again,
Mom,
did you watch the movie?
Dad,
that's
Mom
normally the reaction I have.
If you want to join our Patreon, check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene.
Yeah.
Exclusive episodes,
they write
tracks,
like kids with superpowers who haven't truly understand how to use it seems like an intriguing plot. Sure, yeah, that's true. That is an intriguing plot. But then, somehow I stopped caring when one of them kills a cat without reason. It's not without reason, though, dude. If you look at the movie, it's not without reason.
Yeah.
And then,
it tells you so much of him as a character. Yeah.
Pacing was too slow, and adult characters were too dumb to generate such well-crafted dilemma.
But that's because it's not about the parents.
Yeah, and also, I mean...
Once again, that would be to spend time on something we don't need. Yes. To, try to flesh out the mom and dad character. Like, no, we don't need that.
They didn't know what was happening. How would they understand it?
Yeah, they're not part of it.
The kids aren't telling them that they have telekinetic powers, because, first of all, parents wouldn't understand. They do mention it once, and the dad's like, cool, he knows how to do magic, and he's playing it off.
Yeah.
But, because, no, parents will just see it as children at play. They're not going to understand the serious issue behind it all. Because it sounds like children playing in the woods.
Yeah.
Like, we had fucking sword fights in the woods. Our parents didn't care that we hit each other with sticks, because it just... Like,
yeah. And, that's what this story is all about. It's just a bunch of children... being angry at each other, like children do, they're friends, but then something happens and you get angry. It's just that these children have, they're very powerful, like, telepathics, or telepaths, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, and
they have superpowers.
Then you have...
So it plays out on a bigger scale than just, I'm gonna hit you with my stick. No.
Yes.
I'm gonna hit you with my brain powers,
and you have what's happening here. You have to look past that and the animal abuse to be able to see the movie. Yes, I found a 1-star review on IMDb, and they're like, I don't get it. I don't understand. It's nothing but cruel children playing and talking. It's awful, it's boring, it's animal abuse. It makes no sense.
Yes, you need to get past that part.
Exactly.
Because children are cruel sometimes. It's when you get past that these characters start growing. They're children. It's not that easy to grow. They don't get it. They're dumb.
You need to understand kind of why the children are cruel.
Exactly.
And you need to honestly, read between the lines.
Everyone has been a child. Sure, not everyone was that way.
No.
There are these angels, of course. Maybe they won't understand it, but
and most people didn't kill cats.
No, of course. Like we talked about it was not on that level, but you threw rocks at an anthill, or you yelled at a cow because you ran at the cow.
Yeah.
I mean, every child has done something like that, so you gotta tap into that to understand. If you do that, this movie opens up and becomes this very affecting movie.
Yes.
And of course, just to wrap it up, yeah, it's gotten pretty damn good critic reviews.
Yes.
So that's a 79 Metascore. It's kind of weird though, because everyone, even the ones that don't really like it, like the playlist here wrote, "Make no mistake, The Innocents is no young adult novel adaptation, and things get very dark very quickly." Yeah, that's not really. But here, the worst one, Slant Magazine, they wrote, "The Innocents adopts a slasher-esque vibe," which, okay,
really,
maybe
where's the slasher?
I guess when they actually start killing people, when you
still not slasher
possessing
though.
people, yeah. And it's kind of sad. The Innocents adopts a slasher-esque vibe that, however, airlessly aestheticized, oh my god, feels lurid for the sake of being lurid. And no, it's the opposite. It never feels exploitative or lurid, as you want to call it. It never goes into that territory let's watch children suffer. It never actually goes that far,
Yeah. I'll accept
it's still horrific, but it's never exploitative.
I'll accept the other one, the 60, Arizona Republic.
Yeah.
That it's about children with supernatural powers. It's definitely difficult to watch, a brutal bit of business, but the thrills aren't cheap. They're hard-earned, if you can call them thrills at all. Yes, it's so disturbing it's almost impossible to watch.
Yes,
but
and
if you muster through you see the masterpiece behind it.
Yeah, unless if you can call them thrills. Yeah, if you're expecting if you hear ooh, kids with superpowers, no, this is not.
It's not kids
Brightburn.
With superpowers.
This is not. This is not Chronicle. This is not a Marvel movie.
No,
it's much more subdued than that.
This is children's mentality manifesting as superpowers. It's not children with superpowers.
And I think also, if you really want to emphasize that, where this is different, it's not a horror movie, it's not an action movie.
No,
it is first and foremost, it is a drama. That's why I call it a horror drama. It's not a horror movie; it's horror drama.
It's almost drama. It is
ultimately about the Yeah, exactly. It's ultimately about,
the characters
accepting your sister, or accepting your family.
Yeah.
And understanding them, basically. That's what it's about.
And trying to make
be a
friends.
horror movie where they kill people as well. But perfectly married,
Yes.
the horror and drama.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. One of my favorite movies of the year.
I'll have to digest it a bit more before I can say that. But it was definitely good. Very good.
Yeah. And I would highly recommend it to anyone. At least watch it once.
Yeah. Be prepared.
Maybe not more. Yeah, I won't watch this again in a very long time, I think. But it's a good thing in this case. But that's gonna have to be it.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and be sure to check out our Patreon. Patreon.com/Don'tMakeAScene, where we release, an extra episode every week. Also including, commentary tracks and, some exclusive videos and stuff.
Yes.
And you can also tell us what movies you want us to talk about. We need more audience suggestions.
Yes.
So check that out. But yeah, other than that,
thank you for listening.
Every week on all the free platforms, and we're happy you're listening to them.
Yes.
So yeah, keep doing that, and we'll see you in the next one. But until then, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. The Spoiler Cast is part of Please Don't Make a Scene. It is hosted by Tobias Vedén and Rebecca Vedén. Produced and directed by Tobias Vedén. Executive producer is Annika Vedén and Laura Kinney. Also a huge shout out to all our patrons. Laura Kinney, Mom, Dad, Mom and Mac. If you want to join our Patreon, check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. Get exclusive episodes, commentary tracks, and much, much more. Support independent podcasting.